Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a war that's happening all around us, but you probably don't even see it. It's not fought with tanks or soldiers, it's fought in grocery aisles and on your dinner plate. We're talking about food wars.
All right, think about this for a second. The last time you walked into a supermarket, you were surrounded by, on average, 25,000 different products. I mean, the choice is just mind-boggling, right? It feels like we've reached peak abundance. But here's the crazy part. With all this food, why are we sicker than ever? Well, here's a number that might just shock you. In the US alone, we're looking at 300,000 deaths a year linked directly to obesity. Let that sink in. We are literally drowning in food, but at the same time, we're starving for actual health. And that's the central paradox we're going to unpack.
And you know, experts like Marion Nestle, the author of Food Politics, are sounding the alarm. They're saying, hey, this isn't just some passing trend. We're on a path that could lead to damage we can't undo. Damage to our health, our jobs, and the entire planet.
And you gotta understand, this didn't happen by accident. This is a full-blown war. It's a global battle for our mouths, for what we think, and for where we spend our money. It's a fight between completely different visions of what food should even be.
So how in the world did we get here? To really get it, we need to rewind a bit. For the last 50 years or so, one idea, one single philosophy has pretty much run the show when it comes to our food. It's called productionism. Now, the mission behind productionism sounds pretty good, right? It was simple. Produce way more food than ever before, make it as cheap as possible for the consumer, and ship it all over the world. It was this grand vision of industrial power and efficiency, all with the noble goal of feeding a growing planet.
But, and there's always a but, this obsession with efficiency had a massive hidden cost. This push to get bigger and bigger completely hollowed out farming communities. In the US, we went from about 7 million farms down to less than 2 million. That's not just a number on a chart. That's millions of families and an entire way of life just gone. And the problems didn't stop with disappearing farms. Oh no, this more, cheaper, faster model brought on a whole bunch of new nightmares. I mean, look at salmonella in England and Wales. Cases just exploded from around 14,000 to nearly 86,000 in less than 20 years. And that's on top of major environmental damage and, you guessed it, the huge rise in the very health crises we talked about at the start. So as all these cracks started to appear in this dominant model, two major challengers stepped into the ring, and each of them has a totally different idea about where we should go from here. Okay, so on one side, you've got what's called the life sciences vision. This is the high-tech future, right? We're talking food engineered in a lab. Think GMOs, functional foods like eggs with extra omega-3s, basically using science to engineer our way out of problems. Then on the complete other side, you have the ecological vision. This one says, hold on, let's get back to working with nature. This is all about organic farming, local food, and creating a system that's sustainable for the planet. A really key concept for the ecological side is this idea of food miles. It's pretty simple. It's just the distance your food travels to get to you. But man, does it shine a light on just how disconnected we've all become from the source of our food. Just think about this for a second. A totally normal meal in, say, London could easily have cherries flown in from Washington State, wine shipped from Australia, and even bottled water that came all the way from France. Your food is racking up more frequent flyer miles than you are. That's the crazy reality of the system we've built. So this war isn't just happening in distant labs or on huge farms. The final, and maybe most important battleground, well, it's a lot closer to home. It's your kitchen. It's your shopping cart. The battlefield is us, the consumer. And let me tell you, it is not a fair fight. It's like David versus Goliath. In the UK, companies spend tens of millions of pounds advertising stuff like Coca-Cola and McDonald's. And the advertising budget for fresh fruits and vegetables? It's basically zero. So whose message do you think you're hearing the loudest? The sociologist Jean Baudrillard actually had a really interesting take on this. He said we live under the illusion of consumer sovereignty. We're told, you're the king, your choice matters. But he argued that our real power, our sovereignty, only kicks in when we get organized and start acting together. And guess what? That is exactly what's starting to happen. We're seeing a full-on consumer counterattack. You've got the rise of the slow food movement, the explosion of farmers markets, the growing demand for organic and fair trade products,
Every one of those is a little act of rebellion, a vote against the old industrial system.
So here we are, with these three massive forces all colliding. You've got the old guard, productionism, still chugging along. And then you have these two challengers, the tech-heavy life sciences approach and the back-to-nature ecological vision. So who's going to win this food war? The truth is, right now, there isn't a clear winner. We are standing at a major crossroads, looking down three very different paths. We can continue with more of the same, the big industrial machine. We can go all in on a high-tech future with food designed in labs. Or we can try to redesign the whole system to be more in tune with nature.
And ultimately, this is the big takeaway from the book Food Wars. The future of what we eat isn't going to be decided by some CEO in a boardroom or a politician in a capital city. It's going to be decided by you and me, by all of us. Every single time you buy food, every time you sit down to a meal, you're casting a vote. So the question is, what food future are you going to choose?